none of you ever have to go through this.
A 14-year-old girl who never knew what hit her.
I just want to get better.
Treated at a Los Angeles burn unit after her skin started to bubble and blister, the result of an extremely rare and severe skin disorder many have never heard of.
There are very few things outside of perhaps a burn injury that are as painful as Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
All caused by a medication given to her by a psychiatrist with the best intentions, despite strict FDA warnings about the potential risks.
It's like someone setting you on fire.
Now she's telling her story exclusively to Fox 11, and her dad is on a mission to warn other parents.
This stuff is toxic. I mean, she almost died in there.
Why did you film this video?
I was initially going to post it on YouTube.
It's been nearly 2 months since Ashley Silverman was hospitalized with the fight of her life.
It's December 29th. I've been here since December 14th.
Like many adolescents, the North Hollywood High School freshman had struggled with mood swings.
Thought it was just like a teenager kind of thing. I didn't know you needed meds for it. I thought everybody went through the same thing.
She says at the recommendation of a LAUSD counselor, she went to a mental health clinic in North Hills that works with the school district. There, she began seeing a psychiatrist who prescribed to her a drug called lamictal.
Psychiatrist told me that I had abnormal mood swings. So then he prescribed that to stabilize it.
Lamictal is used to treat seizures, epilepsy, and bipolar disorder in people ages 16 and above. Ashley says she was diagnosed with none of those things. It comes with the Food and Drug Administration black box warning, the strictest warning the FDA can place on prescription drugs, warning that serious rashes requiring hospitalization and discontinuation of treatment have been reported in association with the use of lamictal, including a risk of Stevens-Johnson syndrome in a very small percentage of cases. Ashley's dad, David, admits he didn't do his research on the drug and tells Fox 11 the psychiatrist reassured him.
The only thing I was told is that your daughter might get a little red rash on her cheeks, like a minor sunburn. That's all I was told. There was no mention of Stevens-Johnson's. I never heard of it before.
After 2 weeks of taking the recommended dosage of lamictal, the red rash appeared on Ashley's face.
I woke up with a headache one morning. Then the next day I had a fever that wouldn't go down for 2 days.
She got a little rash here. One night she had 104 temperature. I thought she had the flu.
Ashley went to the ER, where her condition deteriorated, and nobody could diagnose her symptoms. So she was transferred to Children's Hospital LA, where her skin began to have a severe reaction.
At first it was just like spots on my face. Then it got down my neck and then my chest, and then it started bubbling. I felt burning a lot, and I couldn't move and I couldn't see. And I thought I was gonna die.
Doctors would diagnose Ashley with Stevens-Johnson syndrome, the same syndrome mentioned in that FDA black box warning. It's a very rare and sometimes fatal condition. Ashley was immediately transferred to the burn unit at the LA County USC Medical Center and placed into intensive care. The teenager, now unconscious, unable to breathe or eat on her own, with tubes helping her do both. It would be 2 weeks before she started to make an improvement.
And I started getting a little rash on my cheeks.
She recorded this video from her hospital bed as she recovered, showing the extent of the damage to her face and skin, and emotional after a visit from her mother, who flew in from Japan.
I was supposed to go on the 26th to go see her, but I got stuck here, so she came to see me. I'm so happy she did that. Better, everybody here helped me so much.
In this video filmed by family friend Diane Elder, you can see the aftermath of the blisters all over Ashley's arms and the palms of her hands.
Lamictal has significant benefits for people who need it. but it also comes with certain risks.
Dr. Peter Grossman is the medical director of the Grossman Burn Center in West Hills. He's not involved with this case, but recently
We've seen a share of people who have taken lamictal and have developed these exfoliative disorders where their top layer of skin starts shedding and falling off in sheets. And it's alarming because of the medication-related causes of Stevens-Johnson syndrome. I'm seeing more with lamictal than I am with other types of medications.
It got really scary.
Dr. Grossman says studies show when taking lamictal, children are almost 3 times more likely to develop SJS than adults are. And while parents do have to educate themselves, ultimately, so do the doctors.
The onus of responsibility lies with the physician. They're the expert that parents are coming to, and that physician should know and should be able to relay that information.
I don't think he's a malicious guy. I think he's just not informed.
Ashley's dad says the psychiatrist did come visit her in the hospital when she was at her worst.
He just stood there in amazement and he said, "I'll take full responsibility for this. It's my mistake."
I remember asking my dad if I was gonna die.
Parents better be very careful what they give their kids, and they better research it thoroughly. I didn't do that. I took the advice of a professional.
Died. Happy I didn't.
Now, I did reach out to the clinic to get their response with what happened to Ashley. They told me they can't comment on her specific case, but they do report anything unusual to the LA County Department of Mental Health, and they cooperate with all investigations. Now, as for LAUSD, in a statement to Fox 11, they said, quote, "The Los Angeles Unified School District has a memorandum of understanding with the clinic for the provision of counseling services to students. Although we are not at liberty to comment on specific student matters, we are extremely alarmed by these photos and are fully investigating this matter. The safety and well-being of all students remains our top priority," end quote.
A very shocking video. It's hard to hear her talk about it. How is Ashley now?
She's doing a lot better. So this happened in mid to late December. We interviewed her here at the station just a couple of weeks ago. She's still got a bunch of red marks on her face and some scarring. It's going to take up to 6 months to fully heal. The skin is still really sensitive. Even some of our camera lights were making her start to feel really hot, but she's doing a lot better. And it's actually kind of scary to think that her case is considered mild. It can progress. Stevens-Johnson syndrome can progress to something called TEN, toxic epidermal necrolysis. That's when those burns or the blisters cover more than 30% of the body. Hers was only, 10 to 15%. And when you get toxic epidermal necrolysis, the fatality rate goes up between 30 and 50%. So her case, as bad as it was, as bad as those images were, still considered mild.
But eventually, except for those scars, she should recover fully.
The skin should regenerate. It's really bad when you're in it, but she is expected to make a full recovery. Just going to take some time.
What a wake-up call. All right, Bill, thank you for your reporting.